It was a Wednesday morning, and I was on my way to work when I came across the situation. I was so behind schedule the morning that I didn't have time to eat. When we spoke, I was 21 weeks pregnant at the time. My gestational diabetes started to act up a few miles from my house, and a sudden decrease in my blood sugar level caused me to pass out while I was driving. Fortunately, no one was hurt. When I went head first into a delivery truck at a speed of at least 55 miles per hour, the truck was on a flatbed. I recall that at one point in the ride, I came to somewhat as I was in the automobile. I became aware of the position that my body was in when I was riding in the automobile. I had the idea pop into my head. It's almost as if I'm laying down in the rear seat with my legs draped over the front seat. I must be taking a sleep on lunch. I sincerely hope that I remembered to set an alarm. I don't even remember getting to work, and then there was complete silence before everything went black. That was the very first time I experienced a flat line. Another recollection that stands out to me is being helped into the ambulance. I do recall continuously yelling, "I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant," at the top of my lungs. I couldn't stop laughing. I became completely dark, and I flatlined once again. When I came to at the hospital, the staff informed me that I had been involved in a vehicle crash. They wanted to know if I was familiar with my name. I addressed them with the name Elaine. I could only recall the phone number of the baby's father when they asked for a number to contact my family, but the baby's father was in a different state. They phoned him, and he ultimately got in touch with my family when they contacted him. During the 16 hours that I spent in the operating room having many procedures done, I was only partially awake. It was necessary for me to have a hysterectomy since I suffered significant internal damage, including a burst uterus. The force of the hit was fatal for my little daughter. The bones in my hip and femur were damaged, as well as the kneecap, which was crushed. My ankle and pelvis were also fractured. I had been sliced open, and I was beginning to swell up as blood filled my lungs. The fact that I am still here today is nothing short of a miracle. Despite the fact that I died several times, the experience of the third passing is the one I recall the most clearly. When I came to, I discovered that I was being kept alive by a ventilator. During the procedure, both of my lungs had collapsed. My lungs have been resistant to returning to their normal function ever since doctors removed the breathing tube. I made many attempts to breathe, but I was unable to. The sky began to darken all around the planet. I distinctly recall thinking to myself at the time, this must be what it's like to die. After I passed away, I found myself in a place where there was nothing but darkness around me. Nothing was visible to me, nor could I hear anything. I was oblivious to the fact that I had passed on and did not even entertain any ideas regarding my continued life. It felt quite similar to being asleep, with the exception that there was a complete awareness there, to the point that I was aware of who I was. In spite of the total absence of light, I was conscious of everything that was going on around me. However, I had the impression that I was a component of it, that my entire self consisted of a single atom, and that I was linked to the atoms of everything else in the room. I experienced nothing except complete and utter calm. I felt satisfied with the fact that I was a component of all that was all around me. I awoke to see my family members cry, and the physicians feeling relieved after they used the electric shock to bring me back to life. In the following days, I continued to feel exhausted and I had to have another surgery. I spent 3 weeks in the hospital, and the event has left a lasting impression on me to this day. There are only a few weeks left until the first anniversary of not only the day that I passed away, but also the day that my daughter passed away.